Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. My name is Lisa Wong and I represent Logon Software Asia. Today we will be exploring the next generation data loss prevention solution by Zecurion, and we will show you how to implement a powerful defense against insider threats. If you have any questions for today's session, please leave your questions at the Q&A section on the left, and our speaker will answer all your questions at the end of the webinar. So let me start by introducing Logon Software Asia. Since 1993, Logon has been involved in cybersecurity solutions and services. We are operated in Asia and have local offices in 6 countries. Our USP is our team of experienced and professional cybersecurity consultants who are available to assist our customers with implementation services, after-sales services, training, and consulting to our customers. We are a Zecurion partner, and we offer all the Zecurion solutions that address internal threats. When you engage with us, our team works closely with you to understand your security requirements, review implementation options, and employ best practices to ensure you have a successful deployment. So please contact us for assistance with evaluations or POCs at the end of the webinar. So now I'll pass on the time to Dr. Alexey Raevsky to share more on the Zecurion technology and how to defend against insider threats. Thank you, Alexey.
Thank you, Lisa. Hi, everybody. My name is Alexey Raevsky, and I'm the CEO at Zecurion. So today we will have, I hope, interesting discussion about internal threats and how to fight them. But let's start from the beginning. So let me introduce a little bit myself. I'm in cybersecurity since 1993. So we started at the same time with Logon. It's coincidence, but quite funny, actually. In 2001, I founded Zecurion, and since then, I am the CEO of the company. I have the PhD degree in computer science and Master of Business Administration degree, which I got from leading business school in Switzerland. So, Zecurion, as I said, it was established in 2001. We are focusing on internal security. We have offices in Moscow and New York. We have more than 10,000 customers, from small and medium businesses to enterprises in all industries, all verticals, all market segments. Our solutions, our products featured by Gartner, IDC, Forrester, and smaller analyst firms, and received many international awards. We have 3 products actually in our portfolio: data leakage prevention, secure web gateway, and DCAP. But today DLP would be the actually it's the key product of our company, and today it will be the key topic of our discussion. Here are our recent awards. Here are our sample customers. Actually, biggest customers, our biggest customers are in Russia, but we have also customers in United States, in Latin America, in Africa, and Asia as well. Well, let's speak a little bit about insider threats from the problem standpoint. What is the problem in those insider threats, and why it's so important? Actually, there are 3 sources, I would say, of insider security problems. Those are personal data, proprietary data, and misbehavior of employees. I will explain a little bit each point. Personal data, problem of personal data means that there are most countries, most jurisdictions have their data privacy regulations, which force organizations and companies to protect personal data. Failing to do so may result in some sanctions from those authorities, penalties, fines, and other bad things that could lead to some losses and some problems. Proprietary data means some intellectual property and trade secrets. This data is not regulated, but actually, for many companies, proprietary data is very important in terms of business sustainability. Those could be some technical documentation, those could be some commercial terms for partners and customers, which is necessary to protect, and other types of data. And misbehavior of employees actually this is not actually data problem, so to say. This means that your employees could do some dangerous things that could also lead to some financial losses, such as insider fraud, corruption, misuse of organizations' resources, and so on. Actually, I will explain every aspect in more details a little bit later, but this is just an introduction to the insider threats problematics. So first item, personal data, it's a compliance problem. It's considered as compliance problem. And proprietary data and misbehavior of employees, actually, it's internal security problem. So it's also good to understand the difference. This difference is important because compliance is something that companies actually don't need. They have to provide compliance with regulatory requirements, and there is no real business need in this compliance. So it's a kind of indirect tax in some form, which companies need to spend money and resources to not have problems in this area. And internal security is a real business need. For some companies, it might be not a significant problem. It depends on competition. It depends on the nature of business. But for some companies, this could be a very important problem. And I also explain this a little bit later. So those insider threats could be considered as a kind of evolutionary process. Compliance is the simplest one, and it's most it's appeared first, and actually companies tend to spend as least resources as possible for compliance. IP and trade secret protection is more complicated problem, and the solutions of this problem also should be more complicated. And misbehavior of employees, it's hardest to detect and hardest to address. So there is a kind of evolution. Okay, let's get a little bit deeper in each aspect, in each part of insider, each problem insider threats. First one, as you remember, is compliance. So, as I said, most companies should be compliant to some data privacy regulations. Data privacy regulations originated from constitutional right to privacy, and based on this constitutional right, most countries, most jurisdictions have their own data privacy laws. You must know about GDPR in Europe. I think it's most advanced and most recent law in data privacy. In US, there is no federal legislation for data privacy. This topic covered mostly on the state levels. For Asian countries, there is a framework on personal data protection, which is not actually legally binding. But 5 countries inside ASEAN have their data privacy laws in force. Actually, I will not provide you some details about those laws, but actually they are quite similar. All of them have obligation of breach notification. So this means that organization must notify victims of data breach and in some cases data privacy authority. Also, there should be some data localization, which means that personal data should be stored inside the country. In most regulations, companies obliged to have data protection officers, and what is most important, they provide significant fines for violations. In different countries, those fines are different, but actually they are quite significant. I think more than half of them provide percentage fines. This means that fines measured in some percent of global turnover of the company. It's actually it's similar to GDPR. In GDPR, the fine could be up to 4% of global turnover of the company. Some of them provide fixed fines, but they are also quite significant. They could reach $1 million and more. So if we starting discussing cost of data breach, I would like to give you some numbers. Which I took from the study of Ponemon Institute and IBM Security, cost of data breach report, which was published this year. They analyzed 16 countries and regions, and they found that average total cost of the data breach is almost $4.5 million US. Only one out of 3 organizations identified breaches internally. So I think it's a quite low parameter because companies actually, if the organization identified breach internally, it means that they have some adequate measures to identify and prevent data breach. And only one out of 3 has such measures. More than 200 days is a mean time to identify data breach, and average cost per record of the data breach is $165 US. But those are average numbers. Actually, they significantly varies from one region to another region. So we will discuss this a little bit later. So you might be interested what is included in this cost of data breach. So there are 4 main aspects of cost structure of data breach. First one is detection and escalation. when the data breach is detected, the company needs to conduct forensic investigation, perform some audit, activate some crisis management, and there should be some internal communications within this crisis team with the board of directors, with top management, maybe even with owners of the company. So it requires, of course, some costs. Then there should be some notification of data subjects and regulators. Then company should provide some post-breach response, which means some PR and some actually active measures to mitigate consequences of the breach, such as credit monitoring and ID protection, issue new accounts or credit cards, give some product discounts to data subjects, and also penalties and fines also included in this part. And last but not least part is the loss of the business. Of course, data breach is the bad PR because it causes losing customers and decline in new customers. It actually force some system downtime, and also usually some long-term reputation damage is also part of this item. So by industry, cost of data breach by industry, you see that the most significant, most important, the highest cost actually is for healthcare, which is quite easy to explain, as medical information always considered is most critical and most which is necessary to protect in the first in highest degree. Second one is financial, which is also quite easy to explain. Then pharma, energy, industrial technologies, and so on. So here is the diagram also from this report about cost of the data breach by country and region. You can see that United States is on the first place, but you need to understand that actually there are lies, there are big lies, and there is a statistics. So here is a statistics, and we need to understand some logical about these numbers. Actually, United States has highest I would say cost of living and highest prices for everything. And if we compare, for example, United States with the cost of the data breach, almost 9.4 almost 9.5 million US dollars, comparing to, for example, South Africa, which is on the 12th place, where the average cost of data breach is less than 4 million. For South Africa, this 3 million, this 3 million could be more than 9.5 for United States. But those are the numbers, and everyone could interpret those numbers as they want. Okay, next aspect is IP and trade secret protection. As I already mentioned, it's a part of internal security problematics. But the solution is similar as for personal data, because it's also considered some data leakage topic, and the solution is quite similar. But it requires more customization, because for personal data is similar in all in one certain country, so you don't need to customize some policies which you have out of the box with your solution. But for IP and trade secrets, the information is not the same for any for all companies. It's different, so you need, of course, to customize your solution to protect this information. For this type of data breach, there is no relevant public research and statistics, and it's also quite easy to understand, as companies don't want to let public know about their problems. Internal security is the third problem, and it includes internal fraud, mainly in sales and procurement, financial manipulations, espionage, corruption, sabotage, and other dangerous things that could lead to real financial losses. This solution requires most comprehensive technical solution and dedicated internal security team with high competence, because here you need to fight not just some random data breach, but here your employees could act with intention, and actually they might take some measures to not to be caught. Also, here I also have some numbers for you. Hopefully you are not get bored of this. I would like to refer to another report, Global Study on Occupational Fraud, which was published by Association of Certified Fraud Examiners in 2022. They analyzed 2,110 cases from 133 countries. In those cases, total loss was more than 3.6 billion US dollars. Average loss was 1.78 million US dollars, and it's around 5% of revenue which organizations lose due to occupational fraud every year. It's a significant number. You know that for big organizations, 5% of revenue could be their net income. So you can imagine that a company could double their net income just by eliminating internal fraud. And also another important thing is that typical fraud case lasts 12 months before detection. This number is important. I will explain this on the next slide. So this is cost of fraud by region. You can see that here United States is not on the first place. Here is on the first place, here is Eastern Europe and Western and Central Asia. Southern Asia is, I would say, in the middle, but also the numbers are significant. There are some important trends which these reports highlighted for the last 10 years. The percentage, first one is that the percentage of cases involving corruption is on the rise. 10 years ago, it was only 1/3 of all cases, and currently it's half of all cases. And perpetrators, fraudsters are collaborating more. You can see the numbers. 10 years ago, it was 58% of cases with one perpetrators, and currently there are only 42, so more than half cases involve more than two and more perpetrators. So group fraud is more dangerous. It's harder to detect, as this group could include financial guy, IT guy, and other guys to cover those operations. And also, the loss may be more for the group rather than for just one guy. So it's another piece of diagram. Actually, I spent almost 2 hours drawing this diagram, so you might enjoy this as well. So this diagram depicts cost of data loss by detection type. So you can see that that the lowest cost for the incident is on the right side of the slide. It's when the organization detects the fraud by surveillance monitoring and automating data monitoring. And the duration of the fraud is also the lowest. By the way, here you can see that the lower the duration, the lower the cost of the data breach. So for organizations, it's quite important to detect internal fraud as fast, as quickly as possible, as it reduce the financial loss from this data breach. And you can see here that other types of detection actually they are either some accidental or require some costly and difficult measures. For example, internal audit or document examination, it requires much more resources comparing to automated data monitoring or surveillance. Okay, so to summarize what I said above, I can say that we can compare compliance and internal security problematics. Compliance is, as I said, it's a burden for most companies. And companies tend to spend as least resources as possible for compliance. Actually, they need this just as a check mark for some security auditor or something like this. So if some data breach happens, they demonstrate that they took all necessary measures to prevent potential data breach. And actually, in this case, they are not responsible or less responsible if they are not do that. And internal security is a bit different. It's not for the demonstration, it's for real business need. So for companies, internal security and forensic investigation, it could be a real business need, so they need a more sophisticated solution comparing to compliance purposes. So if we slightly move to the solutions for insider security problems, I can say that for data problems, I would say there could be classic DLP could be used to protect both personal data and proprietary data. And for protect from misbehavior of employees, there is next generation DLP should be used, which I will explain you right now. So next generation DLP is the unique Zecurion concept. We introduced this concept a few years ago with our version number 11. While classic DLP protects from data leaks only, Zecurion next generation DLP protects from much broader range of insider threats. Of course, it includes classic data leakage prevention as other DLP systems on the market. But on top of that, it detects also internal fraud. It can reveal employees' misbehavior. You can conduct forensic investigations easily and seamlessly with this DLP. And at the end of the day, it improves internal security posture of organizations and allow organizations not to be the part of this set statistics of data breach and internal fraud. And to do so, Zecurion DLP provides a number of unique features which other DLP systems don't have. First of all, we have advanced intelligence capabilities. We keep full archive of files and events in a database. Comparing to other DLP systems, which provides archive of security incidents only, in our DLP we have all files and events which could be used for um, forensic investigations and retrospective analysis. For example, in some classic, in other DLP, security officer need to anticipate in advance some scenario of data breach or internal fraud and create corresponding security policy for this scenario. In Zecurion DLP, you can create new policy and you can apply this policy to the existing archive and see if the violation of this policy had happened in the past. Of course, it doesn't help you to prevent data breach in the past, but actually this also could be quite helpful as you can have some retrospective analysis and forensic investigations. But what is more interesting, based on this archive, security team could have some interesting knowledge, which is not available for the users of classic DLP systems. And this knowledge also could significantly help in improving security posture of your organization. First of all, we have user behavior analysis. Using this feature, you can analyze behavior. Actually, I will cover this in more details on the next slide. We have also emotional profiling, which means you can analyze not only activity behavior of users, but also their emotional state. We can generate connection diagram of user. So you can see connection network for user, every particular user, with internal users and external contacts. Actually, you can see part of this diagram on the slide. This diagram is clickable. You can click to any user or to any arrow and see. So you can shift the focus of this diagram or drill down to any specific piece of communication. As I said, we have advanced UBA inside our DLP system. It calculates UBA index for each user and alerts security officer in case of some significant deviations of this index. Also, we have fast risk-based assessment. So for every user, you can see their risk score. And you can have top 10 or top 20 employees with highest risk score. And then you can pay more attention to those guys and see why their risk score is so high. We have also some additional features like behavioral profiles of users and groups, comparing those profiles between each other, or estimate the concordance of behavior of some certain user with some specific profile. We have detection of anomalies such as activity at holidays, first remote connections, and so on. Those features reduce efforts of security team significantly, and enable them to spend their time much more effectively to find to find and investigate some internal fraud cases. We have also advanced control capabilities, which mean we can control not only what's going on inside network and computers, but also the surrounding environment. For example, we have microphone and webcam recording, which means you can turn on microphone and webcam on any computer at any given time, and then you can turn any computer into the surveillance device. We have also keyboard recording and user session recording for security team to have more comprehensive picture of user activity. Also, we have kind of revolutionary technology, screen photo detection, which means we can detect attempts to take a photo of the screen with your employees' smartphones. We use PC or laptop web camera and artificial intelligence-based algorithm to detect if someone put a smartphone in front of the computer display. In this case, you can set up the reaction, you can alert security officer, save webcam image and screenshot of the screen, block user account, and so on. We have also screen watermarks feature, which means you can set the screen watermark, gray text displaying username, timestamp, and other information to be displayed on the top of the any application window, such as Microsoft Office, Adobe Reader, or something else. Actually, it's not the protection in literal sense, as it doesn't protect from anything, but for most user, this could be a showstopper to take a photo, as they see that this photo could contain their username and all other information, which identifies them fast. We have also incident response workflow module, which is actually help security team to collaborate during incident investigation. It works as a simple task tracker inside DLP system, so you can create new investigation, assign tasks to subordinate security officers, control execution of those tasks, attach incidents and files, and do other collaboration things. Well, to summarize what I said above, there is a compliance problem and compliance DLP, which help you to provide compliance. There is IP protection, IP and trade secrets protection problem, and IP protection DLP, which are able to provide compliance and protect sensitive data from leaks. And there is Zecurion DLP, which, of course, helps to provide compliance and protect sensitive data from leaks. But on top of that, it helps to reduce cost of investigation, identify employees' misbehavior, misuse of organization's resources, reveal internal fraud, financial manipulations, and embezzlement, espionage, and the other dangerous things that could lead to real financial losses. So I am almost done. I hope you are not sleeping. uh, Actually, I would like to share with you a use case. It's quite interesting as it's a use case of internal fraud. We participated in the investigation of this case, so I cannot give you the name of the company or some other details, but I can provide you with some scenario, some scam of this internal fraud to give you an idea how it could happen in real life. So the oil refinery plant, which is the company which owned by company our customer, uh, they sold their products to fake intermediaries with significant discounts. And those intermediaries, in fact, it was a set of bogus firms which existed only on paper. Those firms resold products to real customers with normal price, and the difference in price was pocketed by organized insiders group. So for this group, it was kind of revenue, and for the company who owns this plant, it was for pure loss. So we participated in the investigation of this case with the help of our DLP. The security team was able to identify a group of guys inside the company, including one C-level guy, which engaged in some suspicious communications with external contacts and exchange irrelevant documents. Based on the results of this investigation, company decided to conduct financial and legal audit. And based on this audit and the results of our investigation, they found that the loss from this scam was around 25.2 million US dollars, and it lasted more than 1 year. So based on the materials that we helped to collect, the company fired 3 key members of this group. And they filed a lawsuit for the compensation of damage and initiated a criminal case against those guys. So that's all from my side. Thank you for your attention. I hope it was interesting and helpful. Currently, as Lisa said, if you have any questions, just type them inside your Q&A area, and we answer those questions at the end of the webinar. And currently, I pass the presentation to Artyom, who is our head of pre-sales, and he will show you some use cases and how the web interface of our DLP system looks like.
Hello, thank you, Alexey. Team, can you see my screen? Is it on top now? Is it works? Can you see my screen?
No, not yet.
No.
Sorry. So I'm trying to share it. Okay. I'm trying. Yes. Okay. Now it's work.
No.
Maybe now?
The screen is black. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. Got it.
Sorry.
We can see it now.
Okay. Sorry for the delays. Sorry guys for the delays. Let me add technical colors to Alexey's presentation. I will try to provide quick look on the DLP system, how it looks in real life. There's real captured information and real repository. Here you can see Zecurion web management panel, web management console. And security guys and security team will have a quick look on the system health, and all captured information. This welcome page, this customizable dashboard, and you will have all necessary information about guys, protocols, channels, and some kind of consolidated reports for security operational team. For more detailed investigation and user monitoring, we have the interface. There all monitored guys and all monitored users will be saved. Each particular guy will have his personal profile, personal folder, and how to say. And in this personal folder, system will collect and save all necessary information about user activities, system logs, captured documents, data breach vectors, and system will save it here in this consolidated user panel. System will trace and identify all necessary network channels. Here it is. You can see this guy and his network connections between his colleagues to his colleague outside the company and corporate perimeter. You'll see all necessary protocols, all necessary transmissions, messengers, corporate mail, and all the stuff. You'll see it on this live diagram. Also, as Alexey mentioned on his slides, we can also trace and identify user behavior, perform user profiling, identify user emotions, and create some kind of context of user activity on his corporate workstation. Here it is. You can see behavior parameter monitoring tool. System will build and put here timeline, this day-by-day user behavior index of user behavior, and you will see it here. Also, system will identify user behavior in terms of his activity on his corporate workstation, productive application, unproductive application, and websites, time of inactivity, and all other measures about this guy and his real physical activity on his workstation. System will provide all necessary calculated parameters, user activity categorization, and do it on the fly on that panel. As well, also system will do anomalies identification. We have pre-installed library of anomalies. System will monitor and warn in case this guy will do something abnormal. System will identify user emotions and create some kind of lines of user emotion changes, and you will see it on the diagram. And the most valuable panel here is consolidated report with all captured information, captured transmissions, uploads, file movings. System will do and save it by policy, by channel, by user, and you will see consolidated report here. Each particular incident, system will collect all necessary attributes and context of any valuable transmissions and data breaches. System will create incident profile, and in this incident profile we will have all necessary information about this guy, his actions, system context for that time, deep validation log, captured valuable documents, transmitted documents, and also system will save info about user activity, webcam snapshot, and workspace screenshot. Then this guy was trying to copy and also do this data breach that particular time. This means that Zecurion has consolidated reports about all user activity. System will estimate risk, system will collect incidents, system will do behavior analysis on the fly and anomalous identification, and you will see in that consolidated user folder. Also, system provides pre-installed logs and reports, system logs, consolidated report by channel, by policy, by day, and you will have it in this pre-installed section. And I think most interesting is just to demonstrate you how the system will react in case this guy will try to make a photo of the sensitive document on his monitor with his personal mobile device. System will identify the snapshot through the web camera. System will inspect this snapshot, this neural network tool, and identify mobile phone frame on that image, and also system will save the workspace screenshot of corporate workspace with target sensitive document on top of it. You can quickly identify that that guy is trying to make a photo of that document. It's a quick incident about this screen photo detection capabilities on endpoint. Now you can see that Zecurion is very flexible, and all captured information will store it in one single repository. You will have all necessary information about the guys, leakages, channels, user behavior analysis, and all necessary valuable logs and attributes. Well, I think I'm done this very quick technical walkthrough. We have time for the Q&A session. We are ready to continue with you. Me, Alexey, and our team is ready to continue this Q&A.
Thank you, Artem, and thank you, Alexey, for the presentation. So if anyone has any questions, please leave them on the Q&A, and we will answer them right now. So we already got one person asking about the solution. So when somebody take a photo of the screen, does your system also record the screen whose photo had been taken? Can Alexey answer? Hello, Alexey. Can you hear me? Or can Artem answer?
Sound is okay. Sorry, from my side. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Then someone will take a photo. Yes, system will react. No, in case this particular workstation has.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello. Okay, this unmute button works from time to time, actually. So, sorry, Artem, interrupting you. Actually, when somebody takes a photo of the screen, yes, you can save the screenshot to this incident. And also you can save the photo from the webcam. So you can have both photos. I think Artem can display this, actually. Do you have this such incident?
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry, in process of. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But don't forget to share back your screen.
Now this should work. Okay. This is screen photo detection incident panel. You can see me, my screenshot of web camera from my laptop, and also you can see my desktop quick screenshot, this top secret document on board.
Great. Thank you. We can see the screenshot.
Mhm. Okay, I will close the.
Okay. So another question: can Zecurion DLP work in a cloud environment?
Yeah, actually, it could work in cloud environment. We have several server components, and all those components could be deployed in private or public cloud. But we don't recommend this to deploy in the public cloud as for example, database, this archive contains highly sensitive information, and it would be better to keep this information in the place which you control.
Okay, thank you for the answer. So let's answer one last question. Can you explain the scalability of Zecurion? For example, if it would work in a large enterprise with over 2,000 users?
Yeah, actually, for us, 2000 is not the large enterprise. Sorry, guys. We deployed our DLP in the top three largest bank in Russia, Russian Agricultural Bank. There we had 35,000 users. So for 4 or 5,000 users, for us, it's kind of medium deployment, and it works perfectly. Actually, there are also two notes. One is that our solution is perfectly scalable in both directions. So we have implementation with up to 100,000 computers, 100,000 users. And also, our solution could be deployed in a small network for as little as 10, 20, 50 users. And it doesn't require a lot of hardware resources. For example, for the small implementations, we require just one server. For the POC, it's necessary just two computers, one for server and one for the endpoint. And for the small implementation, you will need just one server. Of course, for bigger deployments, for bigger companies, you need to put some modules, some server modules on separate servers for the load balancing, for these things. But again, we require very little hardware resources. So our software is quite slim in terms of resources. So you can save some money for the server comparing to other solutions.
Thank you, Alexey. Another question. How much data storage capacity is required since your system is keeping a lot of archived data?
Actually, it's not something outstanding. Of course, some data storage is required, but actually it depends on you. You can choose which information to save, which information not to save. You can save, for example, screenshots or photos from the webcam in high quality or in low quality. But basically, we don't require some unrealistic amounts of data storage. Just address to us with some technical details, and we can provide you with estimate for the hardware requirements. And again, it depends on for how long you would like to store the incident. If you need just 6 months retrospective, it's one thing. If you need 3 years history, it's another thing.
Okay, thank you, Alexey. So I think that's the end of the Q&A section. I hope Alexey and Artem has answered every one of your questions. Thank you once again for Zecurion for joining us today at this webinar. I hope that everyone is informed of the insider threats and how Zecurion solution can help you. So please contact us after the webinar if you would like to test Zecurion in your environment. Our team is standing by to assist you to ensure a successful implementation of Zecurion solutions. So thank you, Artem, thank you, Alexey, and thank you, everyone.